Welcome to Highly Inquisitive, where we ditch the elusive myth of balance and embrace the beautiful messiness of life. I'm Gabs, your host, and I'm here to share how I am building a life I love full of bold dreams without waiting for permission from anyone. In just 10 minutes, you'll get real talk on conquering fear, ditching self-doubt, and chasing your dreams without being so freaking overwhelmed. Ready for a life that's more fun, less stressful, and designed just for you to be your best self? Let's do it. Oh my gosh. We just wrapped up the Overwhelmed and Over It challenge this week on Thursday. And there is nothing like the power of coming together as a collective when you don't have the strength to do it alone. From a business perspective, it was really interesting trying to pull this whole challenge together. Really, truly a crazy time. But I checked in with my brainstorm battle buddy when I was getting a little bit overwhelmed about launching it. And she confirmed I was dead on with the time where most of the women who participated were at in their life. They were going to need this level of support in early July. So I just got real focused so that I could get the challenge out, and we did it a pretty scrappy way. But I'm so glad that I am comfortable going out there chasing these dreams with a little bit of scrappiness behind them, because it actually allowed us to give much more support, feel much more supportive, and it was no fuss, no frills. It was like, we're coming together to just make a change, to just make a difference, to lean on each other and borrow each other's strength when we don't have it anymore. And I'm so glad that my brainstorm battle buddy helped keep me honest and helped me keep it on the timeline that I wanted to, because what I've been saying is I'm real overwhelmed lately. That's the word that always comes to mind. But I'll give you a little clue for those of you in my life. When I tell you I'm feeling overwhelmed, that's my politically correct way of saying I'm depressed. I just didn't know it. I didn't identify that pattern. I didn't put two and two together. Like, I wasn't self-aware enough to realize those were my words for depression. And I think there's a couple of reasons why I couldn't just straight up use the word depression. One is, as a perfectionist, I didn't want to admit it. I don't want to admit when I'm in a deep, dark place and I actually need help. Two, I think that I would subconsciously believe I could just work my way out of it. And so to me, overwhelm is something I can deal with. I know how to prioritize. I know how to work really well under pressure. And I think I just attributed being able to work my way out of depression. There's a just gorgeous, gorgeous soul and beautiful human being who I follow on Instagram, sharon.a.life. And I have never wanted to be friends with someone that I've never one-on-one spoken to ever in my life as much as I would love to be Sharon's friend. She's a mom of 6. She is very unapologetically open about her mental health struggles and how it affects her life, how she survives day to day, and a lot of times how it affects her kids. Sharon posted a reel giving some words to her depression experience. And it hit me that that's honestly probably been one of the hardest parts of the depression journey. Is I didn't have the words to explain it, to explain how I felt about it. When you can't vocalize your feelings, you can't really work through them. They're just there. They're just taking up space because you can't process them. And so once I saw the way she just so humanly described the way her depression feels, it made me start thinking around how does it feel for me? And so I just want to clue you in on that because there's likely a woman in your life who, when you talk to her, she says she's overwhelmed, and you can sense that she's a little bit more frazzled than she normally is, but also to the average person probably looks still really put together. I guarantee you, those are the women in your life who are using words like overwhelmed, on the hamster wheel, I'm stuck, I'm drowning. That is their cry out for help. Because when I take a step back and really, really get real with what is the feeling I'm having when I use the word overwhelmed, it's that feeling like I only have the strength to climb the mountains once. Like this hike is literally all I got. And I lose the optimism that the next time around is going to be easier because I've done it before. Because I've learned what to do and what not to do. I forget how capable I am at solving these problems. And I really forget how capable I am of leaning into my network for help and support. So the entire time I'm doing the climb, keeping the floors mopped, do we have food to eat? Have I responded to the email? I sure as hell know I have forgotten to pay some of the bills. That climb of just climbing through life right now, I'm walking through so overwhelmed because in the back of my mind, I think that once I get all the way back to the bottom, that's it. It's a life sentence. Because just making it to this point takes everything out of me. So I want you, if you're feeling overwhelmed, stuck on the hamster wheel, feeling like you're drowning, that cannot be turned around overnight. And we would be lying to each other if we said that it could. But I know for a matter of fact, as someone who has battled severe depression and suicidal thoughts for most of her adult life, that it absolutely does get easier when you do it with someone. But also more than that, I want to encourage you to be the person to meet people where they are. When you know them well enough to know when something's off, and you know just what they need. If it's something delivered to the house, if it is coming over to do their laundry, if it is a text message just to say, I'm thinking of you, you know that person and the depths of y'all's relationship better than anyone else. Don't wait for them to ask for help because that may be the hardest thing they can do right now. But instead, what they can do is just say, I'm feeling overwhelmed. And that's your cue. Jump in. Remember, life's messy, balance is bullshit, and your dreams are totally within reach. Grab a friend, share this episode, and start brainstorming those biggest, boldest dreams together. Brainstorm Battle Buddies are the secret to life where survival is a skill set and not a way of living. I'll catch you next week for another 10 minutes of real talk on Highly Inquisitive. Love you big, Gabs.